Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the Indie Author Podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Castles of the Rising Dawn series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size.
Hello guys and welcome to a brand new episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors and indie creatives, as you'll see from this episode, all around the world. I am one of your hosts, Jay O'Brien. With me always is our resident reader, Ryan. How we going, Ryan?
Living the dream, mate. Still living the dream. Been back on the reading train this week. Finished reading a little sneak peek of your next book, which was absolutely amazing. The sequel to Ancora. And I've also started a new horror anthology book with our friend Don Campbell in it, called The Forgotten Ones. I've read the first two stories and they're absolutely amazing. I haven't got to Don's story yet, but I read the first two stories last night when I finished the first 10, I think it's 10 chapters of Ancora 2. I've been doing that. Finally finished The Boy, season 5. The finale, completely different from the comic, which I was a little bit annoyed with because the ending in the comic is just so much. It's just, if they would have done that, it would have been peak television. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And I am looking forward to, and I know you are too, seeing Spider-Man. I'm seeing it tomorrow. You're seeing it today. I'm actually doing a double feature tomorrow at the movies. I'm seeing Spider-Man at 12:30, and then because Steph really wants to see this movie, we're going to see The Odyssey. Okay. After that at 3:30. So I'm doing a double feature tomorrow.
Double feature, well done. Yeah, and that's in the past, guys, when this episode drops, the past.
And both the movies, I don't know if you know Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day, runtime is 2 hours and 25 minutes, and The Odyssey is 2 hours and 41 minutes. So big movies tomorrow, big movies.
That's it. Guys, a bit of news, I guess. We're approaching creepy season, spooky season, horror season. So we have we've started prepping for October, where it's going to be pretty much all horror authors. It's going to be a horror collective for a story pitch round, which is going to be absolutely fantastic. We are in the process of getting Don Campbell, as you mentioned, back on in spooky season. So great friend of the show. He'll be back on for that. Like I said, all this stuff, all this organising is happening in our Discord. So if you want to join the Discord, reach out. We'll give you the link, and you can jump on in and join the fun. Were you saying something about Don, right?
Yeah, Don's second novella for July dropped yesterday, which I pre-ordered and I got myself a copy. So he's got two novellas that came out this month, so I'm looking forward to having an in-depth conversation with him about those when we get him back on.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Guys, check out our sponsor, Rebecca Castles. Check out our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. Buy some merch. We have shirts, we have mugs, we have Ryan's shirts. I haven't bought Ryan's shirt. Ryan should buy Ryan's shirt.
Ryan will buy Ryan's shirt eventually.
That's it. Maybe he'll get one for Christmas. I don't know. But we've got merch if you want to support the show. Links are down below. And now we're going to go and talk to two great indie filmmakers from the States, Kyle and Erin, who were on to talk about ZombieCon way long time ago. But now they're on to talk about their new micro horror, as they call it. Micro horror, filmed vertically, autonomous. Great chat. How do you think it went, Ryan?
I think it went really well. I knew it was going to be a good one. These guys are absolutely phenomenal. filmmakers, lovely down to earth people to talk to. We could have talked for a lot longer about everything horror, but they had another interview they had to do, so we didn't want to take up too much of their time. But yeah, had a lot of fun talking about Autonomous, which is a great micro indie horror on Screamify. Goes for about 20-25 minutes, and it is absolutely creepy and will scare your socks off.
Yeah, really pulls you in. And yeah, so guys, I guess strap in. We're going to go talk to Kyle and Erin. Kyle and Erin, welcome back. How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having us back.
Grateful to be back. Thank you for having us.
We've got a lot to talk about. You got a great new. Can we say it's a movie? Is it a series? Like, how would you call it? What would you call? What we're
I
gonna
believe
talk
it's currently called a vertical micro horror. That's
Oh,
like the
wow,
official
okay.
moniker that they've given it. I've made the mistake on more than one, interview and like just talking about it in general, being like it's a movie because that's what I'm used to making. So rolls off the tongue more naturally, and it took about as much effort as making a movie. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dealer's choice. It's a different format. It's a new way of watching it. So you can consider it a series broken into episodes or like a film that you're watching in bite-sized chunks. I think either one applies.
well said.
Cool. Well, we
That's
are.
why she does most of the talking.
That's why she sticks you behind the camera, right?
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about that, but we do have returning icebreaker questions for seeing you back. So we got to mix it up a little bit. So straight off the bat, we want to know: dwarves or elves?
Elves.
Wow,
Oh, nice.
united front.
Sorry, Gimli.
Did you know that you were going to answer that way?
No, I didn't. I'm a huge fan. Like Gimli is one of my favorite characters in Lord of the Rings, and I've got a huge affinity for dwarves, especially because I personally I have a weird obsession with jewels.
Gems and jewels.
Like
yes.
always, so I probably should say dwarves, but
The grace, the
Legolas,
athleticism.
like, I mean, I'm also into Warhammer 40,000, and they just came out with a dwarf faction. I think it's the space. What are they called? I forget what their name is, but they just came out recently. And I've played Dark Elves. I've played Eldar in Warhammer 40,000 before, so I've kind of got an affinity towards them from that. So yeah, probably elves. I don't know. It's a difficult question now that I'm really thinking about it.
Let us know if it changes
I'm
by
sticking
the
with
end. Let us know if it changes.
I
by
don't
the
feel
end
bad
of the
about
episode.
it at all.
I'll switch. You know what? I'm going to switch to dwarves to keep it
Uh-oh.
interesting. I'll switch it up. Yeah, I have to say, like, I've got a huge affinity for jewels. I don't have any jewels. I would love to have jewels. Have zero jewels. I've got those plastic jewels they sell at Disney World where it's like, get a whole handful for $5.
Yeah.
I got lots of those. I got no real jewels. So but
maybe,
one day.
Maybe you are a dwarf, a very tall dwarf. Just
I could be. I love food. I love drinking. I love having a good time. Love jewels. Little bit greedy. And two-sided broad axe is something that I find to be a very useful weapon. Not that I've ever utilized one, but I feel like it's functional. Serves as both a club, a bludgeon, and a sharp cutting tool. So it kind of covers all your bases.
now we just need to learn that your favorite artist is Jewel, and you're set.
You do look like a pretty solid Jewel fan, I'll say that.
Thank you. That's true. I've got the beard, right? Yeah. So I've got to go dwarf. If I lose 50 pounds, and shave the beard, I'll probably switch back to elf.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice.
I like it. All right. Question number 2. What is your least favorite trope in any form of storytelling? So something that, when you see on a movie or, on a TV show, you watch it and you're like, this again.
Really, really clear, obvious exposition. Just like treat the audience smarter. Like slip it in there better. It's too.
Yeah.
It pulls me out immediately.
I don't know if this would. God, I was going to say just bad movies. I was going to name one too. I won't do that. See, I can basically get down with any type of story because I've written so many stories. I can like kind of put myself in the author's shoes more or less. But if I had to pick one specifically, I'll say, you know what? It's something that's come up recently in the last probably 10 years. It's really come to the forefront. But like motivations in the story that are based off of aspects of our everyday life. So like things that don't make sense in the story that push the story in a different direction just to satisfy like a specific agenda that doesn't serve the story at all.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
100%. I couldn't agree more with both of them because I watch a lot of movies. I go to the movies once a week, and as our viewers know, horror is definitely my favorite genre. And when they, exactly what you said, Erin, when they treat us like we're about 10 years old and can't figure things out for ourselves sometimes, I am 100%, I will sometimes just sit there and just go, come on, I'm not that stupid. If you can pick that up. And definitely what you were saying, Kyle, in relation to, just sort of, wedging something in when it's got nothing to do with the story. No, it doesn't move the story forward. It doesn't do anything except, hey, look, we're aware of this agenda. Here it is. If you're a good writer and you're a good storyteller, you'll be able to work that into the story and not make it feel like it's just wedged in for the sake of being wedged in.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't mind. I don't begrudge anyone adding, a message to a story, but just like you said, right, it needs to be done in a way that is invisible. Like I don't want to know that it happened, right? It should just fluidly happen within the story. And it should feel natural when you're watching it. And I think honestly, if you're actually trying to change things with stories and push agendas like that, it behooves you not to do that because that's the best way. That's the only way to really drive your point home and make people see what you're talking about. If you just shove it in their face, people either get frustrated or they don't pay attention. So
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. 100%.
All right. One of my favorite questions is, if you could have a talking animal sidekick, who would you pick? Or what would you pick? And what kind of voice? If you got a voice, James L. Jones is a popular one, but
that's a solid
Morgan
choice.
Freeman sometimes.
I'm gonna go with a drunken badger with the voice of Joaquin Phoenix.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice.
That is a great answer. Now I pale in comparison. Wow. Okay. My first thought was hummingbird because I'm obsessed with hummingbirds.
That's a great choice.
I gotta say though, I kind of want it to be like a dragon, where it could
Oh, I should have said dragon. I changed my answer to dragon. I changed my answer to dragon.
But I have to be honest, hummingbird was first, but it has to be able to expand in size and then shrink back to the size of a hummingbird. But still, when it expands to the size of a dragon, still having the flight pattern and dynamic ability of hummingbirds, because I'm obsessed with them and they're the most aerial flyers. The things that they do are insane. So I'm gonna say hummingbird, and with voice, I'm going to have to go with Robin Williams because that would be pretty damn entertaining and comforting. They could be strong, it could be funny, it could be heart-filled, whatever you need.
I think that's kind of cheating.
I chose too quickly. I switched to dragon with the voice of Robin Williams. I don't want to be stuck with this drunken badger with Joaquin Phoenix's voice.
No, because the thing with Robin Williams is he was so good at doing all the voices, so you just picked all the voices.
Right. He could do the drunken badger Joaquin Phoenix probably better than Joaquin Phoenix could do.
Yeah, exactly.
He
was fantastic.
I would pay top dollar to get that footage that because they left Robin Williams when he did Aladdin, and they do your thing, and it was like 78 hours or something of just Robin Williams just going, and I'm like, give me that.
It's funny that we're talking about this. I actually saw something pop up on my YouTube feed. I'll have to try to find it and send it to you guys because it's now buried in my watch history. But a couple days ago, I saw someone do a little, they were just doing a 10-minute doc on Robin Williams doing that, and they had footage that I had never seen before of him in the voice booth. And it was only limited clips, but I don't know where they got it from. So wherever they sourced it from, there has to be more of it, I would assume.
I want to see it. You got to dig through your watch history. I need it.
Well, he seems like the kind of guy who would have fun. He could stay in a voice booth for an hour, for 8 hours, sorry, and just keep going, whether they're recording or not. You know what I mean? Like, I really like that pick for, the hummingbird, because I always figure you want someone who's got that fast-paced energy, because to me, when I think of a hummingbird, I think of the wings, and you can never really see the wings because they're going so fast. And so Robin Williams can pop the jokes off, pop the observational humor off, bang, 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 as fast as you would need for the hummingbird. So I think that's a very, very good choice.
Yeah.
Now
Definitely.
I need it in my life. Now I'm just sad that it's not real, but that's okay. Maybe it'll be in a good dream tonight.
Yeah, I know this is kind of off topic, but I'm such a big Robin Williams fan. I feel like, I need to say something else here, but I was watching something else and I heard the story about him going to see Christopher Reeves in the hospital when Christopher Reeves had, I was going through one of his surgeries, and Christopher Reeves was feeling really down, and Robin Williams came in the full, gown and everything and the face mask, using a Russian accent, and he's like, "I have the suppository," and just cracked him up completely. And so it's like, you just seem like, such a fantastic human being.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen a Robin Williams movie that I have not liked. He's got that range. He's so famous for, the comedy and the voice acting, but then, he also, 1 Hour Photo is a fantastic psychological thriller. And the fact that he could go to that place was unbelievable. I could not believe that was Robin Williams when I was watching that. The man just had so much range, and every single one of his movies, I could go off after we talk. I could go and watch any of his movies and enjoy it just as much as I did the first time I saw it. He was a true talent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really was.
Definitely. All right. Question number 4. What book or story or, video game or anything would you like to see adapted into a film?
That's a good one. No, I'm drawing.
I've got 2, so I'll answer for me and Erin. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
But Warhammer 40,000, I would love to see adapted into, a series of films. I think, I've, listened to, read as many books as I possibly can. I haven't read all of them, but the universe there has been so fleshed out since it came out in I think 1987, and it's such a rich, complex story with such interesting characters that are flawed and powerful, and you have everything from the flaws of humanity that we deal with all the time, plus the flaws of alien species that require you to kind of bend your brain against what you normally know to see what they're going through. And you got also giant guys with guns, which always makes all the story more fun. So kind of has a little bit of everything. And then I'd say the second one would be Berserk adapted properly into either a high-end anime, super high-end anime all the way through the story. Or, and I know this is a little bit touchy with anime adaptations to live action, but a really well-done movie, because I think that the Berserk story does lend itself to being made into a live action movie, because it's not as outlandish as some of the other animes that suffer with, with One Piece, right? It's difficult to get all of those effects right because their superpowers are very esoteric and strange, and it's hard to adapt that to live action. Berserk, you've got demonic presences. We've seen that in a million movies. And you've got a giant muscular guy with a sword and basically a cannon for a hand. And that's basically Evil Dead meets Conan. So I feel like that could be done.
All right. Well, those were much more epic answers than mine. I'm currently in a I'm currently in an audiobook. I think it's the the sixth of the series. It starts, the first one is The Bridge Kingdom. And so right now that book series is on my mind. So I would say that it'd be great. There's like action, political thriller, romance. It's awesome. So I would say that.
Heavy on the romance.
It's heavy on the romance.
All of our
Maybe I
stuff is
should have.
very romantic.
Maybe I should have said that the first genre in the list is romance. But I feel like there's a lot of other like nuances to it, and if you just look at it as the romance, which it is, it's there, then you'll just get distracted.
Alex carefully slips the sheets over Jessica's leg.
There are no Alex, there are no Jessicas.
I know, I'm making
and the
this up.
romance
I've never read the
series
books.
are much more enticing than that.
Well, I don't want to go too crazy with it.
That's true. I don't know what this podcast is reading. So, you know what? That's probably a good idea. There's also this really, like, I read this book, and it also is a series, but the first one I think is called Hawk Song. And it was when I was probably like 15, but it always has stuck with me that would make such a good movie series because it has a lot of like mythological creatures, like they're kind of demi-human, and like one society, they can transform into hawks, like especially the royal line transforms into hawks, and the other ones are like crows, the soldiers are different types of birds, and then the other one that they're warring with are like serpents, and again it's like descending levels of snakes. And in order for the war to finally end after generations, of course, like the prince and the princess, one from each, are betrothed and they're enemies, and you know they obviously fall in love and all this and that and the other. But that one's really good too, and I think that would be epic to watch brought to live action. I'm into some mythological and romance right now for sure.
Cool.
Awesome. We'll get James Cameron on the line after this and organise it all.
Fantastic.
I think you find that we just need to get them the funding and they can do it themselves.
Oh yeah, exactly. Well, you guys are good enough to do it yourself for sure.
Hey, I would not begrudge a phone call with James Cameron. That's my filmmaking hero. So, you know, if we need to start there to make this process get going, I'm totally fine with that. Would love to, you know, head down to New Zealand and Australia. I've never been to that part of the world. Make a fun vacation out of it. Wouldn't be bad to meet Peter Jackson too, since we're adding people to this list.
You can have a talk about dwarves versus elves.
Yeah, maybe take a tour of Weta Studios. You know.
Yeah.
Can you guys set that all up for us? That'd be great.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
We'll book our tickets tomorrow.
No trouble at all. I'll I'll get right on it. I'll talk to these people that email me all the time, and you know, like the Nigerian scammers.
See, that's the new scam, right? For the new world. It's like, hi, I'm James Cameron and I want your story for my new movie. Just send me this much money and I can get the process started.
I get emails from them all the time. Like, well, the last one was James Patterson, like the big author over from, he lives in Florida or something. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do a reply, but I'm going to research James Patterson as much as I can. He lives here, and I just picked out a restaurant and I go like, why are you messaging me when we just met yesterday at this restaurant at this time? And and then never heard from them again. You know, mustn't have been James Patterson.
That's a brilliant tactic, though. It's fantastic.
There was a time while we wait for Ryan to come back on, because I think his internet just cut out. I tried to sell back to the scammers. Like I said, I've got a book on how you can approach scammers better, you know. And essentially, it was just like how to approach authors and stuff. And then it opens it up and it says don't, you know. But they just kept trying to market. We'll help you market it. I go, but it's for you. You know?
That's funny.
That's good.
Oh man, yeah. There are a couple movie ideas I feel like I've got stored in the back of my brain for how to get back at scammers. I feel like everyone's dealt with a scammer at one point or another.
Yeah.
I think there was a movie that came out about 2 years ago that was about this like same thing where someone attacked. I think it was Jason Statham.
The
right. Well, like went to
beekeeper.
The
beekeeper, right? Yeah, he like went after a call center or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. It was actually a pretty good movie. Like, because you know, with Jason Statham, it's the same movie 20 times, and then there's a good one. Like, you know, it's like the same formula, same thing. This one stood out. Like,
I feel like Liam Neeson has also fallen into that trap. Although, to be fair, I'm like, I always buy all the movies and watch them, and I'm like, oh, that was actually pretty good. I can't get enough of this guy kicking ass. Let's keep going.
There is something comforting about knowing what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a late night, fun, popcorn, ice cream, pick your poison.
Well, speaking of Jason Statham, though, there was a new one that came out just last year. I think it was called the lightkeeper, housekeeper or something, but he was stationed at a lighthouse and like a little girl washed up, and he basically had to, save her, clear his name. He was like a super agent or something. Well, I mean, obviously he's a super agent with all the skills, so it's like exactly. But yeah, that was fairly good. I enjoyed that one.
Yep. Look, we'll move on to the last question while we wait for Ryan, because it's a bit of a fun one. Dr. Emmett Brown arrives in your driveway and says, "Great Scott, I need your help to confuse an archaeologist. What should I take back in time to bury in the past?"
Oh my God, that's such a good question.
Well, I'm going to have to say, because of the interview that we're doing right now, definitely a Waymo.
And are we using like real science terms like this thing? Like should we consider like how fast it would degrade, rust, or decompose in the soil, or will it just be like in like an airtight box?
Let's just say there's magic involved. So it
magic.
It will survive.
Oh my God. I mean, I think the easy answer would be like a charged cell phone. Like that would be very interesting to find like back, but oh my God. Okay. I've got it. A book with all of like modern day history written into it. Oh my God. But it has 15, and so all of that's totally accurate and correct, like to the T.
Yeah.
But the last 5 chapters of the book, I get to make up however I want. So they read through the whole book, and then they just assume all this stuff is going to happen.
Yes.
That's good. That's good.
I like it.
How extreme would you go though? Like, would it just be like crazy, or just?
Oh, it would get more extreme as it went on. It would be like, the first ones would be like, I would try to like do my best to forecast, okay, the next year. And I would be like, at the end, be like, if you've diverted this much, you've crossed into a different timeline. We found out that actually happens because I'm a time traveler or something.
I thought you were going to say like Kyle Valley becomes emperor in 2027.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, we'll pencil that in there, of course.
Yeah.
And he gets all the jewels. He gets
all the jewels.
If you're reading this, if you don't give Kyle Valley a big chest of jewels, the entire world explodes. We found out that happens.
He has a drunken badger with the voice of Joaquin Phoenix.
I can just see the drunken badger dressed up in the Joaquin Phoenix Joker outfit, just walking down those stairs doing that dance.
See, I was thinking of Gladiator and with his character.
Oh, yep.
No. The prince. Oh my God, I can't believe it.
Maximus. It's Aurelius's son. Maximus Aurelius's son, right? Well,
anyway, we all know who we're talking about.
With, like the deep shadows under the eyes, like evil looking.
That'll be pretty funny. He's got the Roman armor on,
and the crown. Like, who's really the emperor here, Kyle or the badger?
The badger's always issuing commands, like drunkenly, like, "Give me the bar, give me another drink."
I like it.
And its hands are too small, so it can't do the thumbs down or thumbs up, so they never know if someone should live or die.
Yeah.
It just whispers in Kyle's ear, and then he has to do it.
Now become a slave to my imaginary pet.
You were almost there. Yep. You were almost emperor.
I think I'm gonna have to put that on our story pitch graph.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
I'm gonna write that right now.
A drunken badger with the voice of Joaquin Phoenix dressed in his character from Gladiator's outfit.
Yeah. Drunken badger voice.
Yes.
You've you've contributed to our game already without even thinking about that. That's well done. That's the imagination of filmmakers there, right there. I'll tell you that.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Anyway, speaking of filmmakers, you've got this vertical microfilm or movie, however you want to say it, out, and I watched it a few days ago. Ryan watched it recently, and drum roll, we loved it, seriously.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear it.
I really like when excuse me, whether it's a book, TV show, or movie where it's contained essentially in one environment. So within the self-driving car, a really great example is Ryan Reynolds' Buried, where it's 90 minutes of him in a coffin underground. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be very hard to do that and make it as good as it was, because you don't have other scenes or other areas to work with. You just have to focus on the two characters in the car, or three characters eventually. But I absolutely love. That's one of my favorite tropes of storytelling is a story set in a contained environment, and you guys did that amazingly well.
Now,
thank you so much.
Before we pour more compliments upon you, why don't we wind back a bit and go, like, tell us about it, how it came to be. What's the micro plot, I guess.
Okay, I'll try and keep it as succinct as our micro horror. Screamify licensed ZombieCon Volume 1 for Screamify's platform, and we got on a call with the founder of Screamify, Sean Overbeek, who's amazing. And after chatting for probably 30 minutes, he's pitching us about how they're doing micro horrors. He says there's a script that he's written called Autonomous that's about these, Waymo-esque type driverless. Anyway, it goes on. You've seen the series. We loved the idea. He sends us the script after the call. I think later on that night or the day after, contracts are being written. Kyle's already in pre-production. It was just like that fast.
Yeah. Yeah, it came together. I keep thinking of things that the Drunken Badger would say, and they're all obnoxious. So I was going to try to chime in with something cheeky, but I will not. No, it was fantastic. And the team at Screamify, like Aaron was saying, after they gave us this project and we got right into production, I was going back and forth like I normally would, like, okay, do you want to see storyboards? What do you want to, like, how in touch do you want to be with the project to make sure that we're kind of on the right track and we're delivering what you guys want to see? And the founder, Sean, was just like, oh, no. We love ZombieCon. We trust you guys. You do your thing. And I'm like, we just do our thing. He's like, yeah, we're all about like empowering indie filmmakers. So yeah, that's why we called you. Like, just literally do your thing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm having my Christopher Nolan moment right now. This is what it must feel like. But yeah, they were fantastic. And they gave us total like carte blanche to just see it through to the total end. And of course they approved everything. Few editing notes, but they were just fantastic to work with. Would love to work with them again. It was just a beautiful start and finish with them.
And people actually are what they, purport themselves to be. And they say that their platform that's all about independent horror and especially championing independent filmmaking. And then we're the independent filmmakers that they're literally championing and doing just that. It was amazing.
It was.
And how cool would that have, how awesome would that have made you feel when you were talking to the writer and just going, how do you want me to do it? Do you want to see storyboards? And him just saying, hey, we loved what you've done. You do your thing. Like, how good would that have made you feel?
Oh, I mean, in this case, that did happen, right? Because this was, Sean was actually the writer. So it was fantastic. I mean, it swelled me certainly with a amount of pride in my former work, even though I know that it had been done years past, and I knew that we had progressed from that. But for someone to have that much confidence in us, off the bat and out of the gate, was something that I've never experienced before. So it was a truly special moment and something I'll certainly remember forever. It was fantastic.
Oh, definitely. That's amazing.
Sorry, our dog is our drunken badger is trying to get on the couch right now. Yeah.
And so I have every time we record, just to my right is one of our couches, and one of my two cats will sit there and demand attention while I'm recording and talking. So I literally sit here and I'm patting my cat the whole time. So I get it. Animals just want attention all the time.
All the time. And this poor guy, he has dealt with having a baby sister so very well.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, our attention has been split, you know. I think he's half the time concerned, like, should I have a diaper? Should it be being changed? What's happening right now?
Well, it got really bad today, or fun, depending on how you want to look at it, because our daughter started, she's 16 months, she started saying tail today. So she's pointing at different animal books and this and that. And then he walks by, and the next thing you know, literally, I didn't even tell you this, she just grabbed his tail. She goes, tail. I'm like, oh. But he's so cool about everything now. He just is sort of like, I'm getting away now. This is my cue. I don't want any part of this.
And he plays in her ball pit all the time. That's like his new favorite place.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
yeah. They're thick as thieves. She shares all her food that drops from the high chair. Like, it's fine. They got a great relationship.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So why did you choose the vertical angle? Like, was that something that they wanted to do when they gave you the script, or was that something you decided to do? Like, what was the thought behind that?
So that was something that they specifically requested when they were pitching this, because they wanted to roll out these three similarly formatted micro horrors at the same time. Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. The dog is dancing on my lap. When they approached us with this, I asked them at first, you know, because we did shoot it on an Arri Alexa. We have an Alexa 35. And I asked them if they wanted us to shoot open gate. So they could essentially have vertical, right, as long as we cropped it like that. Or if they wanted to extend it wider, I mean, the sensor size in an open gate format, you're almost getting the same height vertically that you would if you just tilted it vertically, a little bit less. But he said specifically they wanted to go full in on the vertical aspect ratio and to shoot, literally turn the camera horizontal and film it vertically.
Which I also respect, because it almost felt, the moment that he said that, it's like point of no return. Love it. Like, we're 100% committed to this.
Yeah. No, it was it was an awesome experience as a filmmaker, because not only were we dealing with a brand new piece of technology in regards to the Waymo, which I felt was like a very cool thing, because how often does something like that enter the world and then you're actually telling a story about it, like on the forefront of it. And we're doing it in a brand new kind of way that's not like, you know, super mainstream. So it was like kind of a double bonus in terms of experimental filmmaking in that regard. And that was just a lot of fun and allowed the creative muscles to really stretch further than they would in a normal project that you're used to kind of storyboarding and blocking out the way that you do with, you know, all the other projects. So it was fun.
Yeah, I when I logged on to watch it, mind you, it was 2 a.m. on Friday morning, because my memory is not great. So I like to watch things pretty much, you know, right on when we're talking. And I when I saw it, I'm like, okay, it's vertical. But then I didn't feel like I was watching a vertical, you know, because the story just takes you in, and then you just watch it. And, you know, I was wondering if I was going to be distracted by the format because I'd never seen it before, or if I was going to be just in the story. And, you know, within 30 seconds, you're in the story. You don't even notice it's vertical. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing to say about it, but I was just engrossed in the story. And you know, watching the two characters, hopefully, and I say this with all respect, hopefully getting brutally murdered, because that's my thing. So, you know, I wish the characters, not you in real life, Erin, just characters.
No.
I understand.
But what you don't know, Ryan, because I this is my prediction. The extended version ends with, like, you know, Erin screaming, "Where are you taking me?" And he turns around and he goes like, "To my badger." You know.
I feel like that would be the more horrifying way to end the series. Yeah.
Yes.
Very
The
concerning.
thing's long fingers, right? He just in the rearview
Yeah.
mirror, just
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the practical effects behind it too. Because
Yeah.
that like, look, I live in the middle of nowhere, so now I don't want to drive at night anymore. Because it's just like, I live in a town where
Sorry.
one road goes in and the one road goes out. Like that's it, so it's like I don't want that but self-driving cars wouldn't work where I live anyway.
I think personally that everyone who watches knows I'm a massive arachnophobe. I hate spiders, but I'm not scared of anything else. But watching that movie made me not ever want to get into a self-driving car because I think I would literally be on the edge of my seat the whole ride, especially if I was in a rural town where there's a town and then you're driving out into cornfields or bushland or whatever that may be, and then all of a sudden bad things start to happen. And I definitely added a fear to my list of now it's spiders and self-driving cars. That's it.
Well, we're honored
Yes.
that we make the list.
Now you just got to give that self-driving car some legs, and you just
Right, yeah,
masterpiece, masterpiece.
That'll be for the sequel.
Okay. Is there a sequel? Is there
Say.
another one in the works? Are you continuing Are you going to take that same monster somewhere else?
So when we were first getting into the project, it's something I asked Sean about, and he was totally open to the idea. So I think that they're down for it.
Never say never.
But it's definitely, it's his baby. So he'll have to pen the second series. But I think that, without giving too many spoilers away, it's safe to say that the threat is still there and could easily befall another set of weary travelers. And take them for a ride. So we'll see.
Yeah. But, just Erin won't be in the sequel, or maybe she escaped. We don't know.
I was about
Well,
to say.
exactly. I was going to say that. Like, I'll put a spoiler warning here, but like there's possibility of Erin returning because everything, sort of fades to black in that traditional kind of horror way where it's up to you to work out what happens. And look, I'm going to be honest, I hadn't heard of Screamify before, we got to jump on and watch Autonomous. And I really like it. I am going to join up and I watch so many horror movies. It's just like, it's a daily or second daily occurrence. So anywhere where I can get more horror and especially indie horror, I'm down for. So I'm hoping Screamify gets, I don't know how big it is over in the States, but I'm hoping that, I'm going to be telling people about it, like horror that I know. And hopefully we can get it to be, as big, if not bigger than Shudder or anything like that.
Heck yeah. That's definitely the road, pun intended. I think that they are heading down, hopefully barreling toward. What's pretty cool is that they launched last year, I'm pretty sure even in July, the same month that ZombieCon was released. So it kind of feels like we're like having twin journeys here in very different respects. But they've been blowing up. Their catalog keeps increasing, and I know that they're getting more subscribers. Their marketing is awesome. They're funding more projects, just like they came out of the gate with the micro horrors, but they have a ton more in the mix. So I really do hope that the sky's the limit for them as well, and definitely Shudder type size would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Because I was pumped when Shudder came out here in Australia. I was like, yes, this is a streaming service for people like me who like watching lots and lots of horror. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to jump onto Screamify because to me, I really love horror anthologies. It's what I'm into at the moment. Like I love the shorter horror stories, and the fact that you can fit so much action and so much anxiety into such a short film and, story. Like VHS are one of my favorite horror series of all time. And, that's an anthology series that all ties itself in. So, I think I think, micro horror films could be just as popular as normal horror films in the end, because if you can scare me in 20 minutes or, rather than scare me in an hour and a half, that's amazing, because I think it just shows that so much more talent to be able to do it in such a little amount of time.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And if you join up with Screamify, there's something else on there interesting. It's called Behind the Screams. And this was a first for us. They actually followed us on making Autonomous with a reality TV crew.
Oh, wow.
Which was kind of like an Ouroboros of like filmmaking, because we had like our sound guy miking up Erin with her love as their sound guy mic'd up our sound guy with a love. And then and then we had our behind the scenes guy filming their behind the scenes people, filming us film the thing. But they did a brilliant job editing this all around, basically a narration of our life story that Erin gave while getting her makeup done in the makeup chair. And it was just like, I didn't know I could look so cool. I was like, wow.
Okay, yeah.
I got to tell everyone about this. This is probably the coolest I'll ever look in my life. Everyone should watch that behind-the-scenes documentary.
You did, and I have to echo that it was insanely cool, because I thought that when I, watched the, I guess, rough cut, because we got to preview it before it came out, I thought that I was going to log on to Screamify and get to watch it, and it was going to be us making Autonomous. And then the first, 5 minutes of this thing is using my narration from the makeup chair, like Kyle was saying, but they've spliced in all the footage of me telling the story of Kyle and I getting together, meeting in Los Angeles, starting a production company. So I didn't think it would be so kind of like us filmmaking couple centric, and it was pretty wild watching a little documentary about your life, and then the cool, bit of Autonomous in there too. So I 10 out of 10 recommend it. A great experience.
Did it feel like The Office, with Steve Carell,
I think it would have been very different if they'd followed us any other day.
I definitely added a little deadpan sarcasm in there.
Yes, Kyle did.
I can't get away from it. I'm very sarcastic, and I was like, they got a camera on me. I'm doing 30 things in my head mentally and trying to figure all this stuff out. And I don't know why, but I went on a tangent about our car shaker. And I was like, and this is Chad Tolson. He's the guy who shakes the car for our poor man's process. It's a highly trainable skill. Be careful when you do this. He went to school for this. And I think my parents were watching it, and they were like, there's a school for that? I'm like, no.
You have to be very careful when Kyle talks with sarcasm and dry humor, because he just delivers it so flatly that it sounds just like he's speaking normally.
Yeah, I'm the same.
He doesn't lay it on thick. There is zero thickness there.
It's my secret tool. It's how I can be obnoxious but get away with it. I was just being sarcastic.
So when that thank you for letting me know that. I wrote it down I have a list on my phone of all the guests that recommend horror movies and horror things to that, so I just added that, so I'll check that out. But did you feel any extra pressure when you had the team filming you while you were filming the fact that how did you feel about all that?
Yeah, I definitely think it adds a little bit of pressure. But, that was probably only for the first, I'd say that's when we were not filming, right? So that's as I'm they're asking me to tour the house, and I'm setting up the camera and stuff. And, building a camera rig like that is kind of complex. So I'm just making sure I don't mess anything up, but I'm also trying to make it interesting. Once we got into the actual filmmaking, my blinders kind of go up, because I'm like, okay, I know exactly what I want to see. I know what I want to do. And I'm zeroed in my space. But outside of rolling or about to roll a shot, there was definitely a little bit of knowledge of a camera being there. But these guys were so professional. Honestly, I think that kind of just faded away. I'd say probably within the first 10, 15 minutes, it just kind of disappears into the background of all the other people with the equipment and everything else that's happening. And we had a guy filming behind the scenes, Jeremiah Baker, for the entire time that we were working. and he was constantly with his cell phone filming. Or no, he had a little DJI, one of those new little cameras that has like the gyro or the stabilizer built into the top. So it looks like a little stick. It's like impossible to see where it is or what's happening. And that was probably more unnerving because the first day I'd realized I was being filmed for the last half an hour. And I'm like, what did I just do for the last half an hour? Didn't I embarrass myself? Like, but no, it all turned out great. And they were very cool with the editing. I think the way that they cut it together was fantastic. And the end product is actually something I've gone back to watch a couple times just because I thought it was like interesting to see. I was like, oh yeah, I remember how we did that now. Because after post-production, a lot of production kind of goes out the other ear. So you're kind of like just focused on what you're doing at the time to get the project done. Yeah.
For me, it was just like with acting, like you're nervous kind of going into it because there's just a million things and variables and you just want to do your best. And so you're thinking, oh, what if this happens? What if this happens? And you're all in your head. And then the moment that the cameras start, just that, like Kyle said, it fades away. You don't think about it anymore. So yeah, it was a great experience.
It didn't help us at the end of that day that they were following us because we were at a location. It's a very long, it's not, well, not super long story. Basically, we had negotiated the rights to use the front door of this building alongside the door to the restaurant. These folks own the restaurant inside, and it's kind of a large office building. Well, we get done with the inside stuff at the restaurant. We get to the outside, and I was a little bit hairy about this. I had a legal contract worked out, and it was like, you know, guaranteeing rights and usages and all this stuff, and they signed everything. So we were legally in the clear from our side. But the security guy starts giving me the stink eye, and I'm like, oh, God, I know exactly what's going to happen. 5 minutes into rolling outside, he comes walking up. He's like, what are you guys doing out here? And it didn't help that, right, I've got a huge Arri Alexa, and then there's, you know, all my people. And then there's a whole other group of people filming us, filming this thing. I'm like, we could not be more conspicuous. Like, this is terrible.
It looks way bigger than it was.
Right. And, you know, and he was just not having it. So, like, you know, he basically kicked us out, which, you know, obviously doesn't help with the stress level as you got this crew following you. You're trying to put on a professional show. And you're like, well, I don't think James Cameron gets kicked out of, you know, his shooting locations, but here we are. So I manufactured a circumstance, and I was like, I'm rambling. You could see some of this in behind the scenes, and I'm just like, I basically put the camera on the tripod, kept it rolling, like whispered to the actors, hey guys, we're rolling. Like when I give you the sign, I drop my hand, go do the thing. And then I'm just sitting there bloviating for like 5 minutes, and
He's good at that.
I'm like, you know, this is just what happens when you know you're making films. Stuff happens, and you know, filmmaking, right? Like it's indie films, like it just goes on. You only see a little bit of the documentary, but I sound like an idiot because I'm just trying to fill space. And we get enough time to like pull the car around and have the actors get in. I'm like, all right, good, we got the shot. And the security guard that comes waltzing back over, and he's like, are you still filming with that camera? I see a red light or something. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know it was filming. Thank you so much. You're saving me so much media space. And like turned it off. I'm like, okay, we got the shot. Let's get out of here.
I like it. The one question that I did have that I wanted to ask you guys, which is, it kind of relates to what we were just talking about. And I apologize if it's a stupid question. It's just something that movie watcher Ryan would like to know. Seeing as, you know, most of it was, you know, on the road, set on the road, you know, whether it was in the city or whether it was in the, you know, the farmland area. The rural area, cool, I get it. There's probably not going to be any other cars on the road. You're pretty good to go to do whatever you need to do. But when you guys were filming the stuff, when you were coming out of the restaurant, getting into the car, and then the car stuff that was being filmed while it was driving through the city, is there any kind of, you know, legality things you need to do, like to make sure that, you know, you've got this section of road free, or did you guys just film it and not worry about other cars or anything like that?
So the way it works, at least in Atlanta, is that you pull permits for specific locations, and if you want to film inside of a moving vehicle, you actually set up point A and B, C and D, so on and so forth, to wherever the car is going to be driving on. And you mark out on a map exactly where the car will be, what route you'll be taking. And that is all included in your general permit. You also tell them what night you're going to be shooting, how long you'll be shooting, how many actors will be in the car, who else will be in the car. So you fill out all those details, and they give you general permissions. Now, it gets hairy with license plates because you're not legally allowed to show license plates. So you either try to frame out the license plates, or you go in and you digitally scrub the license plates, either by adding a fake license plate or just kind of, putting it out of focus enough that it's illegible on screen. So for this particular piece, we did some filming within the Waymo, but we also did what we call poor man's process, which is basically where we rented an exact version of the stock car that they use for Waymo. So in this case, a Jaguar F-Type. Match the color of the exterior, match the color of the upholstery, then take it into, we basically retrofitted a garage to be a sound stage.
Okay.
And then you set up blue screens, and the trick is with the lighting. So Waymos in Atlanta are geo-locked to the city center. So we could not get a Waymo to actually travel outside of the city center and get it into an area where we wouldn't have kind of light spill coming from ambient sources. So that's really what the poor man's process was important for, to show the transition from city center into those places. And that was just done with, so basically they're called driving plates, which, we got a great deal from drivingfootage.com. I'm supposed to talk about them because they give me such a good deal. But if you're looking for, if you're an indie filmmaker looking for driving plates, they will definitely hook you up.
Okay.
But those are basically inlaid on, where the blue, you basically replace the blue screen with the driving plates, and we match the lighting on set to simulate what would be happening on the driving plates. If you had a higher budget, let's say you had $200,000 to do this piece, or if you were doing a feature film for a couple million, you'd actually use RE Sky panels, which are really cool. And you probably use a digital void, or one of those void rooms where you actually have, a screen that plays out the image in front of the car itself. So instead of replacing a blue screen, you're using the void, and the RE Sky panels actually connect to a software that simulate all of the lights that are happening on the screen in real time. So you're getting real light effects against the mirrors and everything else. In this case, I had to go back in digitally whenever we replaced the blue screen and just physically add in the reflections from our actors onto the windows, all of the light reflections onto the windows, add dirt and debris to the windows because a lot of that stuff is lost in the blue screen pull. Much more time consuming than I thought. It was probably a longer answer than you wanted, but yeah, that was the
Kyle
whole.
went into this filmmaking wise, treating this with, and I think it shows, with the total respect of a feature filmmaker. This was in no way a short series, anything like that. And it was no, this is the top level cinematic quality that he could muster, given the timing and the budget, of course, and the story limitations for what it was. But I think that's why it turned out so well, because with you didn't cut corners with the way that you were approaching any aspect of filming this.
Thank you.
No, 100%. You couldn't, from what you just explained on, what you had to do, aside from the blue screen and all that, and go in and physically, you could not tell. If you told me, hey, yeah, we filmed everything on the road, perfect, I would have been, yeah, cool, I believe you, because that's what it looks like. And it looks like it's amazingly well done, and you clearly put a hell of a lot of time and effort into doing it. How long did it actually take you from start to finish? With just that curiosity, how long did it take you to get from, yes, we're going to start, we've got the rights to the project, we're going to do this, until it was finished?
So we had finished the paperwork by the end of December. Got in. I'd already been working on pre-production, but the legalese, right? Lawyers going back and forth just always takes a while. But we had a good rapport with Sean, so I had already started on pre-production prior to that. But the contracts were signed at the end of December. I'd say that technically pre-production started in December, but we were also on holidays. So, a couple of those weeks were not really used to do pre-production. And then when we got back to Atlanta, we basically jumped right into pre-production proper, getting locations, casting actors, locking down all the physical assets needed, getting support personnel hired, and then we did about 10 days of shooting total. We did 7 days to start. I edited for a month. We had a winter storm in the middle of shooting, so we missed a lot of stuff, and we had a bunch of problems getting the Waymos to actually show up. So that resulted in huge time delays in the beginning part of the process, and that was chiefly due to the winter storm. Then we went back to get 3 more days of basically pickup shots, and then I was probably doing all of the post-production for...
I'd say March, April, and a lot of May.
Yeah, so about 3 more months to do all of that. And that really just came down to the VFX were extremely time consuming. Some of these renders would take 10 hours. And if you make a mistake, right, you can imagine to basically watch it back, compose it, and watch it back in full resolution might take, I don't know, 5 hours. I'm just throwing a number out there. But you're better off just exporting it and hoping that you got it right. Often you don't.
For
and
example,
you got to
one
go
of the
back
times
in.
I was like, Kyle, on the GoMo screen, I'm so sorry, but you spelled the word passenger wrong. Like there's not an A, the second A. That should be an E. And he's like, are you kidding me? And it's so tiny. He's like, he was saying, in the moment, like, it doesn't matter. Like, no one's going to see it. And it's so fast. And he's right, especially on a cell phone screen. No one would. But even as he said it, I'm like, I know Kyle. He's going to go back and change it.
Yeah.
So little things like that just add up. And then, like Kyle said, there were some edit requests from Screamify at the end, and nothing substantial. But again, things that take time when you're working at the indie level on, while still a very sophisticated setup. It is what it is.
Yeah, you're I was a single person post-production house, and that, it just allows you to work faster in some regards, but where it hits you is when you have 400 shots to do. When you only have one computer rendering it, right? If I had a fleet of computers, I could have, start the render on one, turn my back to it, go to the next computer, start there, basically get through the whole lineup. By the time the first one's done, I've got 10 more going. So, it's also a computing restraint, and also I'm sure if I had like a $100,000 computer, it would have just spit the stuff out like in 2 seconds, super quick. But, I don't. Unfortunately, do not have a $100,000 computer. So,
well, when we get in touch with James Cameron, we'll help you out.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm sure he's got a few old computers sitting around that surpass anything I could buy commercially. So that'd be great if we could just shoot one over.
Now, pretty much the last question of this. We don't want to keep you too long because you've got another interview to get to. But I wanted to ask Erin a acting question because you spoiler alert, you run and you scream and you crap in your pants pretty much. How do you get into that headspace from an acting standpoint?
That was the deleted scene.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on so many factors. Like I don't have one like absolute go-to because I feel like the second I rely on that, it's going to be like dried up emotionally. It won't, work. But definitely for, the fight scenes and everything, it helped. One of the times that we were on set filming a bunch of the actual fighting and we had our actual actor playing the creature, we had closed down a road out in, I think it's called Coweta County. It's like 2 hours outside of Atlanta. And this is not abandoned, but it looks abandoned, a stretch of road that The Walking Dead actually shot a ton of their footage on. Yeah, so anytime there's cars there that are abandoned or like zombie chasings, anything, because it's this gorgeous, long, lone country road surrounded, it's double yellow lanes surrounded by very mature forests, and you can't, as Kyle pointed out, you don't have any light spill from the city, which is actually very difficult to find all these pieces and in a place that you can rent and shut down the road and all those things. And so we were able to shoot that, and I will tell you, we'd done a little bit of the shooting of the, like monster and fight scenes and being scared in the garage with the poor man's process blue screens ahead of time. But the night that we did that, everything like gelled. Then I could take all those actual memories as well of being in this like complete, because we turned all the lights off a couple times when we were just, adjusting and saving battery. And it was pitch blackness. You hear nothing, like no signs of civilization. You can truly picture how horrifying it would be to be stuck out there with no cell phone service. No one knows you're out there. The car is now your enemy and locking you in. I mean, you just have no hope at anything. It's horrifying. So it depends on the day, it depends on the scene, but there's a lot of imagination, there's a lot of memory that goes into it, and taking the feelings of nervousness or pressure or stress that I have in real life and pouring it into that character in that moment, for sure.
It probably helped that our actor who played the monster was a friend of mine that we got on a whim. It's his first acting job he's ever done. Wow. But I wanted a huge, big guy. Was 6'8" plus, and his shoulders were proportionately broad to his frame. Like he's actually like a jack guy. He kind of looks like a John Cena, like really tall John Cena, basically. And so, when we got him all dressed up in the getup, I remember filming Erin and Dominic in the car, and he's standing behind me. And I'm just like, you just feel something like, whenever you've got a presence behind you. And I turned around for the first time and I saw him in his full costume. I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Take the mask off. We're not filming you right now. You're fine. I was like, come on, man.
Well, that was some of the more creepier scenes in that were literally when he was at the the rear door and just bent down, because you could tell he was huge, like tall, he was quite large, but just the whole leaning down, looking in the window, when you guys were yelling at him to go away, get out of here, and he was just sitting there, and then just the tap with the fingers. I mean, that was creepy, and it didn't help that I was watching it at 2 a.m. in the morning, but it was I could tell you had quite an imposing stature of a man as the monster. And when you look at the traditional like Kane Hodder, as Jason from Friday the 13th, he is huge. That man is freaking. He's a giant. And when you get those huge, massive, tall, built, stocky guys to portray something that is utterly terrifying, I think it's definitely going to scare the crap out of a lot of people.
Heck yeah. Yeah. And I know Kyle had said that we got the exact model of the Waymo, like it's a Jaguar F-Type. And for luxury vehicle, the back seat, I know because I spent a lot of time in that back seat filming, is surprisingly tiny. I'm 5'2". I was wearing heels, so like maybe a little bit taller, depending on the moment, but it was cramped back there already. And then you put him back there looming over me, and it just, he filled the entire space. It was like being enveloped by this thing. It was great.
Can I make a guess? He's like probably the nicest guy you've ever met, like some gentle, friendly,
nicest.
like Michael.
I was
Clark
deciding
Duncan.
whether or not to tell this bit, like after the first one or two like takes of fighting, and he's clawing.
Yeah.
And Kyle calls cut, and he looks down, and his gloves have got blonde hair, like all over them. And he was immediately like, because he's one of our friends, he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, I ripped out your hair.
Don't tell my wife.
And I'm like, at this point, like, I think 10 months postpartum, which I don't know if you guys know, I had to learn the hard way. This is when you have like postpartum hair loss is a thing. And you could just be walking down the street and like a gust of wind hits you and a whole cloud of hair will just like whoosh. So I was like, no, it's not you and it's not the gloves. Trust me, like it's all me. You're okay. But he was so concerned. I'm like, trust me, we got a lot of takes to go. Like, don't apologize. You're just going to have hair all over the place. Amy lost a lot of hair that night. Nicest
Awesome.
guy.
You're basically like a human cat. Every
Human
time
cat.
someone touches you, hair comes off.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Straight up just blonde hairballs everywhere. It was its own horror scene. Yeah. There's definitely a horror movie in that I think like moms who've gone through pregnancy and labor, like it's unnerving. You're really feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to go completely bald in like a month. And then one day it just stops and your hair's like, okay, we're good now. You're back to normal.
Sure.
It's so bizarre.
All right, we're going to do a round of story pitch. We'll just do one so we don't delay you too long. But is there an update on ZombieCon 2? Is there anything?
So currently, we've got basically a budget put together for ZombieCon 2, and we are riding the line of whether or not we pare down the script, because I'd written the script initially to be basically without a budget in mind. I usually write with a budget in mind, and I know the limitations of that, and I can write around it. With these, because it was kind of a pie-in-the-sky thing as we were in the middle of post-production on ZombieCon, circa year 8 of doing that, I was like, I just got to get these stories down. And I wrote them just the way that I would like to see them if I had an unlimited budget. And, that's probably not going to be realistic, and we'll have to pare the script down. But I think that, right now our best bet is to kind of hold down and see if we can get a little more money for the project. Yep. Because if we can make a lot more interesting things happen. And if we can't, we'll forge forward with what we have already. Yeah. And it'll still be a great movie. But I've got a desperate need to see, I don't know if we talked about this the last time, but in the second movie, basically takes place after a 10-year time skip. And there's a whole shanty town of survivors that are defending themselves against zombies. And the Rockets have embedded themselves into this community. A lot of other story details there. But the most expensive thing is a sequence with a group of what I call flyers, and it's Claire's basically, quick attack squadron, where she's taken on basically all of the guilt of causing the zombie apocalypse and has turned into like a Sarah Connor type character to undo what she has caused. And she has teamed up with these other girls, and she's like the leader of this group where they fly into battle hanging from large aggro drones. So the drones they use to seed fields and stuff. And they drop basically death from above. Nice. From Molotov cocktails, homemade bombs, whole type of weaponry. And they each have their own flyer, which is, kind of like a geeky guy in, a shed super far away with a little computer joystick, and they're constantly in contact, and you've got that great conversations between the two going back and forth. And I would love to make that happen.
Get the budget for it. I gotta see it.
But to do that properly, right? I would love to get some, stunt actors actually hooked up to these things and fly them around. That would be pie in the sky. If we could do that, perfect. Worst case scenario, if we can get one of these things rented even for a little bit of time on a blue screen with some big fans, and get each of the flyers individually, we could do it like that. But even that, right? It's a very big setup. It requires a crane to hold it from it. There's a lot of safety precautions that go into it. So, I mean, I guess we could, use force perspective and get small drones
with
and
Barbies.
action figures on them. That's the super cheap version.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
It's going to look like Jason and the Argonauts stop motion, but with Erin flying through the air.
Please do that. I just want to see it.
Nice. I like it.
God.
Excellent. We'll keep an eye out for that. Hopefully producers will listen to this and go, yes, we'll throw money at you. Because that's what you want as a filmmaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, if we could have that scene at the end of Obsession where the money starts falling from the ceiling, that would be fun with me.
Yeah. All right, let's play a quick round of story pitch. It's changed since you've been on last.
All right.
We've got a setting, we've got a genre, we've got a main character, and a crazy addition. You pick a number between 1 and 12, and we'll tell you what they are, and you pitch us a story. Now, we have 4 graphs. Graph 1 is easy, graph 4 is hard. So you can pick a graph depending on your level, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, we got to go with the hard one. So we got to go with 4.
Let's go for it.
All right, we're going 4.
Graph
okay.
4.
Graph 4. Now give us 4 numbers between 1 and 12.
7.
3.
9. I thought it was 4 between 4 and 12.
Oh, between 4 and 12?
Yeah.
I thought it was, my bad.
1 and 12.
No, 1 and 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's still 7.
Right. And then you said 9. Right. 7, 3,
7,
9,
3, 9, and
11.
11. All right, let's see what we got here. So your setting is Disneyland.
Perfect.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. I believe the genre was number 3. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So your genre is alternate history.
Oh my God. It's like what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's lining up perfectly.
Kyle writing his alternate history.
Well, here we go, because your main character is an evil overlord.
Oh.
And your crazy addition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story, even if it's just for 5 seconds. And this one, you also might be familiar with. It is a plague. So it can be any kind of plague, even a zombie plague. It can be any kind of plague you want. It can be a real one. It could be one you make up, whatever you want. But just an appearance of a plague in the story.
Yeah. So you've got
Awesome.
an alternate history set in Disneyland with an evil overlord and a plague. That's what you got to work with.
All right.
Okay, so well, let me get a drink of water first. So, in this alternate history of Earth, pleasure has been replaced with pain. A man by the name of Walt Disney,
Walt Disney.
has created a theme park to allow all the citizens of Earth to experience the most pain possible, Disneyland. Our story follows a group of pain-seeking adventurers who are looking to max out the pain score on all of the rides at the park.
But little do they know, the worst part is truly the line for every single one, because the theming is not super fun, as you can imagine, because obviously the rides are horrific. So along the way in the line, not only are you waiting for eternal stretches, but you are getting punished brutally, mentally, physically, spiritually.
Although one of our heroes, who can withstand more pain than anyone else that he's ever met, decides that this isn't enough and has brought with him a special cocktail of chemicals, which he has chosen to release at the park in order to bathe in the chaos it creates, releasing a plague which spreads infectious boils across not only all of Disneyland, but all of Southern California, resulting in a pain-filled apocalypse utopium, giving our characters a happy ending.
I like it. I like it. Fund it immediately. I want to see.
It's your next movie right there.
I know, it's a happy story, right? Because they're all about pain. So this is like
That's what they want.
Nirvana.
Yeah, exactly. This is their Wizard of Oz. They're getting all their wishes.
I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's been a blast as always.
Y'all, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us back. It's so much fun kicking it with you and getting to chat autonomous. I can't wait. Hopefully we'll be on for our next project too and get to catch up on life and create some more ridiculous, amazing stories that definitely need to be seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to animate that badger. But no, thank you guys both so much. It's like it's such an honest pleasure. It's fantastic to talk to you both.
Yeah, and don't forget to make a little claymation of Erin on a drone as well. That's
We must.
Oh, yeah.
that's
I'm stealing one of my daughter's Barbies. I already got an eye on one. It would be perfect.
I grew up watching the old school horror movies, like the black and white ones, and there's one called The Giant Claw, and there's people on a train and they're looking at the window screaming, going ah, and then it cuts to a model train, an obviously model train, and those sticks that you use to pick things up was dressed like a bird claw and goes kick and picks it, like it's so obviously like a toy model. And I think it's like a 1940s one.
I
or something.
love those kinds of
Yes.
movies.
Yes.
Those are fantastic.
I just
No budget, no problem.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
All of this is the imagination.
Exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's give you the floor. Plug away anything you want to plug. Obviously, autonomous. But the floor's
Awesome.
yours.
Go check out Autonomous. It's on Screamify. The app is available on iOS. I think it's Google Play. Basically, wherever you can buy apps, there it is. Or go to their website, screamify.com. It's $2.99 a month. So it's amazing, well priced. You get a ton of awesome indie horror as well as classics. They keep adding. But yes, check out Autonomous first. Check out Behind the Screams. And go check out us at Big Squid Films. That's where we're at on Instagram, or ZombieCon Movie. And definitely send us a DM because we manage our own socials. So don't be a stranger.
Well said. Nothing to add to that. I'm terrible at all that stuff, so what she said.
I believe the term is ditto. Ditto.
Yes, ditto.
Awesome. Well, guys, I will leave all the links down in the show notes. Please be sure to check that out for all the stuff that can creep you out. Even Ryan, self-driving cars. So until next time, if you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional at gmail.com, reach out on the socials, join our Discord if you want to come on the show. There's an easier way to get on the show through that. And check out our sponsor, Rebecca Castles, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. And yeah, keep supporting those indie creators, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yay! Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.